Hey, everybody. Welcome to NHL Nightly. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, a goal-scoring prop expert, Rico and Barry, and our handicap expert, Pearlo Wisdom. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man.
How's the
Awesome.
bets going? How are you guys doing on the bets? I know, Rico, you didn't get your goal-scoring props in, but did you have any that hit?
Yeah, Sam Samoskevich was playing on the top six in Florida tonight. He was paying pretty good, so I took a dabber on him. But I also took Alexander Holtz. He was in New Jersey tonight, and Vegas put him in the top six. Maybe he could pop one against his old team, but never came to fruition. So
Yeah, Vegas did win that game, though, convincingly. They needed a win, and boy, I still don't know what to make of New Jersey. That's an interesting one there. I told all the fans in the chat, don't take the Flyers. Hey, Lucy, what's going on? Good to see you. Appreciate you popping in. I said don't take the Flyers. Good teams beat bad teams, and I'm telling you right now, good teams need to beat bad teams. If you're anybody but the Caps, because of where you're at in the position, the race is so tight. So I did see a stat tonight, though, that was absolutely insane. I don't know what Hot Take sent me here. Mikko Rantanen has had 2 points in the last 5 games. He hasn't gone more than he's not had that happen in the last 3 years in his career. It's starting to wonder how much of a difference it was to play with McKinnon and Makar. Nothing against Rantanen. Like, I think he's a solid player, but it sure makes a sense. That being said, Carolina loses tonight 2-1 in Minnesota. Minnesota is good, dude. They're missing Kaprizov. That's about it now. They just keep doing it. So I saw mid-season GMs ranked Hot Take sent. Did you guys see that? Number 1, Bill Zito. I don't know how he's number 1. I don't mid-season. What has Zito done for the Florida Panthers this year? That I just haven't seen it. They've kind of been a mid team in my estimation. I don't know how you guys feel. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, that's not what he's done to build this team to where they are, but where he stands with this year's moves. Like, if I'd take Zito as far as a guy that's built that team through pretty much free agency and brought him to a Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. But yeah, as far as doing any moves and making any moves this year, I mean, he's definitely hasn't made any noise or anything yet. I mean, they're kind of handcuffed a little bit too, but I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they lost a lot of talent. Give me 1 second, gentlemen. I'm gonna get these other games on here. We have Seattle and the Leafs are gonna watch. If you live in the U.S., that game is an ESPN only game. So if you were watching, there you go. See, you hear Ray Ferraro right there. All right.
I don't see how Zito is the best general manager this year. Like, what, he brought in Schmidt and filled out the defense a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know how you get that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Perlo. I'll pop this up on the screen. This is from Stefan. I don't know who he is. I mean, I don't think Pat Verbeek is the worst second to last GM in the NHL, by the way. I don't agree with that. I think we can look at the screen here. No. Hey, Bacon, how's it going? Brian Schaff, Flames recalled Dryden Hunt and sent down Clark Bishop. All right, thanks for that. Did Flames get a win tonight, or they're still playing the Avs? Sorry, that game is still live. Yeah, in fact, we'll do a quick score update because I'm not going to even spend any time on that GM thing. I don't know where that's coming from. Doesn't even look like anything I want to spend any time on. Panthers Blues are all tied up. I thought I had that game going, so I guess I moved it off. And Avalanche and Flames are going, and then we've got Leafs and Kraken just underway. This should be a game the Leafs handle quite easily. And then Canucks and Sharks are about to drop the puck here in about a half hour. So yeah, I'll get that Panthers game on here. Yeah, any of the games you guys watched or want to talk about tonight? I know a lot of people were rooting for the Blue Jackets. I mean, they kind of got to keep winning. So that's second period puck is about to drop just as we're speaking, Bacon, in the Colorado Calgary, in Calgary, obviously. So our friend Bacon, Calgary Flames fan. Thanks, Bacon. Appreciate you keeping us up to date on that. Any games you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, New Jersey's a little bit concerning now, especially with Heischer out. I guess he took that cross check from Suzuki. He's been out for the last 4 games. He's considered week to week. I know the Four Nations going to help that, but
I'm kind of surprised Suzuki didn't face punishment on that one, Rico. What are just thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a play where, again, it should be penalized, like suspension, maybe even looked at towards any player. But, I mean, he's not that type of player either. So, I mean, you got to look after the stars. Too many guys going down, man. Like Tage Thompson, nobody's sticking up for him. And now this is happening to Heischer. But Vegas put 40 shots on the Devils tonight. I mean, there's no Markstrom in net. Heischer's out. I'm concerned about New Jersey a little bit here.
Yeah, for sure. It's they look very like watching that game. I couldn't count how many times players put their heads down. There's not much confidence on that team right now. I remember an interview with Tortorella, and that was one of the things he did when he was in Columbus. He would start benching guys if they put their heads down. So keep your head up. Keep your head up. You're an NHL player. You got here with hard work, and you should be proud of yourself. No reason to ever put your head down during a game. Keep your head up. Play with confidence. And that was like some of the best. There's some really good advice, and I think somebody should give it to those New Jersey players because they got their heads down a lot during games. It's not a good sign there. Not a good sign. Not good energy.
Yeah, I've been with. Oh, I had that game on. I'm an idiot. I'm with you, Pearlo. Calgary just scored, by the way, Cale Makar to make it 1-1. We'll get into the tournament here, but LP Quagmire. So I'll bring your comment back when we get to that. Just give us a second. I don't think any teams are setting any players out to be healthy for the Four Nations. I think that we'll just I don't want to gloss over your comment. We'll definitely talk about it, but because our lead story is maybe Crosby might be missing. I don't know if you noticed. I created this beauty for the show today. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Oh, I gotta open it. I apologize.
Oh, while you're doing that, I saw something funny on Twitter earlier. It said the U.S. national debt's now $31.41 trillion. Madness. And then somebody just said the Treasury Department just needs to put $38 trillion on Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown at -120, and we'll be out of this.
Yeah. Be right there. Be back even for sure, right? Yeah, for sure. We haven't even spent any time talking about the Super Bowl. Ooh, hold on. Sorry about that, Pearlo. I was about to edit your display name. And you don't have to put your ad in there, Pearlo, because I have your Twitter.
I keep on forgetting to change that. Every time I come on, I keep on forgetting to change that when I come on. I want to just put Pearlo, and I tell myself I'm going to do it, and then I forget.
Okay, well, I'll do it for you right now.
Cool.
Done.
There you go.
Okay. I probably don't have to put my full name on there either, but it is what it is. Did you see this beauty I had AI art make for me? It's Crosby with a cast on his wrist. I know he doesn't have the right number, guys, but he looks a lot like Crosby. So, yeah, I know he doesn't have the captaincy either, but I think there's certain things we can't do. Hey, Colton, it's going great, man. Nice to have you. Nice AI thumb number 22. Yep. Cyril, I saw your comment. I was getting it up there for you. Yep. That's dude. I can't make this. We'll get to the art, like the thumbnails, like Hot Take Hockey. I just have to learn Canva and stuff like that. It's a low priority for me, guys. It's more of a just to kind of get the conversation going, but we'll get real photos and stuff like at some point. It'll be fine. It's just I don't want to spend a ton of time doing that sort of stuff right now, guys. I want to worry about what we're talking about. Today was a slow day in the NHL too, like not a lot going on. So let's just get right into it, man. Crosby looks banged up, man. He didn't shoot the puck at all in practice. He didn't skate with the team. We're going to know more Friday. I think they play. I mean, we might as well look at the schedule for tomorrow. I believe they play the New York Rangers. In Madison Square Garden. Obviously, it'd be a big loss if Crosby's not in the lineup. Leads the team with 41 assists. Yep, we saw that, Brian. That was Makar's. I didn't know it was his 20th. Good God, Makar's probably running away with the Norris this year, huh? Especially if Quinn Hughes can't get healthy. We'll have to look at those stats. But anyway, I know that would be a huge letdown for the Canadian fans if Crosby doesn't get to play in the Four Nations, because quite frankly, that's all Crosby has to play for this year. They're not making the playoffs, so they went on their little run to kind of get back into it, and then promptly lost like 5 or 6 in a row. So I think there was some information in the what's happening here. I'm just gonna close that and bring it back. Okay. We had it in the DMs. I think I said there. Apologizing. Rico, you counting me? What is my count at? Do I have a hat trick yet?
Close.
Okay. Trying to keep away from that one there. Part of it is having to host and produce at the same time. Eventually
we're gonna pick a name from somebody in the chat to be the lucky producer of NHL Nightly.
Well, I already got a guy that will do it for us, but it's going to cost me about $350 a show probably. So, yeah. So once we start getting sponsors, that's not that big of a deal. I mean,
you pay Pearlo $2,000 an hour, so
I wish I did.
I'll throw $350 out of my salary per hour, I guess.
Yeah, it's just to have somebody bring stuff up and stuff like that, so I don't have to pause and multitask because your boy ain't good. So,
Avalanche scored.
I said it right there. Apologies. Colorado scored again. Lehkonen, man. Dude, what's going on? Dustin Wolf. And I feel bad. So Flyers didn't have Peltier and Kuzmenko. They're still stuck in Toronto because of visa issues. And, it was no problem for Farabee and Frost to make it to Calgary. So they've already played. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it has to do with the other things or what is going on there. So Peter DeBoer, Bruce Cassidy didn't want Logan Thompson on Team Canada because they're Four Nations experience. F off. Jog on. I get, like, whatever. I bet if they looked at it now, they'd be like, oh, he's playing really well. We probably wouldn't mind having him. If it comes down to goaltending in Canada, because these guys didn't like this guy, what's going to be the thoughts there in Canada, Rico?
The goaltending better hold up, man, or this is going to be brought up even more, and it shouldn't be about who doesn't like who and who likes who. I mean, goaltenders are notoriously different people. I mean, whether they're good off the ice, whatever, bad people. I mean, all hockey players, this guy's playing in the NHL, and Washington just re-signed him. There's nothing wrong with this goaltender, and he's the best Canadian goaltender in the league right now. Look at Patrick Waugh, Dominic Hasek, like Ed Belfour. Like, All these
Yeah.
goalies.
Ed
back in the
Belfour-
day, I mean,
Ed
they weren't
Belfour-
the best nights within their room. Tell me.
Ed Belfour got arrested for DUI, famously bribed the jailer $100 million to let him go. Didn't have $100 million to, to give him, but
And
it's just
it's not like you're flying overseas for a 2-week tournament or for a whole Olympic village experience and everything. This is the Four Nations. It's round robin. You're playing 3-4 games max, and it's done. And so yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. So Crosby skated on his own, but Josh Yeo, as our friend Jack Maloney says in the chat, he's saying that Josh Yeo reported the Canucks would be the favorite to land Crosby if he leaves not Colorado. Yeah, I don't know how Colorado fits him in or has anything to trade them. I mean, what are you giving up for Crosby? And especially if he's injured, are you giving anything up? Probably no. What's this? So yeah, just like Hot Take brought up, here are the goalies they're bringing to Team Canada, and I think Logan Thompson's in one or every other thing here. Can I get rid of that? Okay. So there you go. Aiden Hill is 9th in goals against. He has a 900 save percentage. Bennington is 11th. He has a 12. Goals, I mean, the goals against expected, you're getting some pretty good numbers from Sam Montembeault. But, I also could say Montembeault's not on a great team, so put him in front of all those great defensemen. You're probably going to get some good goalie from. To me, I think if they roll it out, I think Montembeault might end up being the starter, just based on what I've seen with my eyes. How do you guys feel? It's your team, so how do you feel? I feel like it's not a problem for the U.S.
I mean, they're playing in Montreal too. Familiar barn.
Exactly.
Most of the crowd there is going to be Montreal Canadian citizens as well. I mean, it's his home court. So, I mean, I'd trade Logan Thompson for Aiden Hill. I mean, Aiden Hill's been coming on a little more lately, and he's got cup rings, and so does Bennington. Yeah, it'll be interesting, man, because there's not much time. Like you can't just play a game against Kazakhstan or somewhere and just try to figure out your goaltending situation. You're going against Finland, Sweden, and the States.
Well, let's remember too. I know this means a great deal to Canada. I'm not sure anybody else is putting a lot of stock in this. Like, what does it mean? First of all, we talked about the nations that aren't there. You could make an argument that Russia is one of the best hockey nations out there. They've had in international play, they've dominated. They dominated for 40 years. They dominated from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. They dominated. They dominated the international stage. So for 3 decades, they're not here.
The Czechs did to Canada in the World Juniors. Like, they're coming too. Like, it's
who?
The Czechs. Like, look what they did to Canada in the World Juniors. Like,
yeah, and that wasn't a surprise to me. As Czechia beating Canada isn't an upset to me. They're a hockey nation. Look at the players that have come out of there. They might have arguably the best goaltender and probably the best right winger to ever play in the game in Jaromir Jagr. I mean, Hasek and Jagr, name 2 better players at their position. You'd find it hard pressed. You could say Brodeur. I'm not ever taking Brodeur over Hasek. Brodeur played in one of the best defensive systems in the history of the league in front of one of the best defensive. I mean, Stevens and Niedermeyer are 2 of the best complementary defensemen ever. And then, they also had Brian Rafalski. They had other guys on those teams that were except Ken Danico.
Ken Danico.
Yeah, Ken Danico. I mean, say what you want to about Ken Danico. He played 20 freaking years in the league. You don't get that long in the league if you don't know what you're doing.
Patrick Elias was a decent 2A player too.
Absolutely, Czech player. Not you're not going to say Elias was the best in his position, but you could make the argument that he's top 25, at his position, all time. Definitely probably top 5 Czech player at that position for sure. So Toronto did score a goal, by the way. I didn't catch who scored that.
Philip Myers.
Philip Myers. All right. Pearlo's all over it. Awesome, Pearlo. Thank you. So, so Josh Yeo also reported today that they're going to not know until Friday on Crosby. I'm concerned because here's my thing about Sid. He's not leaving the game unless he's legit hurt. And he wants to play. You guys can give your thoughts.
I mean, he's the old guard for Canada, and he's running out of time, and he's sat out long enough waiting to get a best-on-best tournament, and it's too bad. I mean, Marner had some words for him, too. He was like, everybody feels awful if he can't play on that team. Like, he's obviously Canada's leader, and he's been for the last 15 years. So.
Let me ask you this. If he's day-to-day, he plays.
100%. If he's even 60% he's playing, if he's able to wrist a puck, he's playing. He doesn't have anything else to play for really right now. The Penguins aren't going to the playoffs.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this, because you are the Canadians. Does this tournament mean a lot to you guys, or is it just more about seeing Crosby, McDavid, those guys getting to play together?
I knew from the moment they announced this thing, especially it was during the All-Star break and it wasn't all the best countries and stuff, I knew it wasn't going to be a rough tournament. Like, you got Sam Bennett against Tkachuk, and you're playing on the same line as Brad Marchand, and these guys got to go back to their respective teams on a playoff run, and these guys aren't going to go out there killing each other. I just don't see it all. I think you're going to see some high-scoring games. I think you're going to see some good skill, a little bit of hits and stuff, but it's not going to be anything like it would be in the Olympics or a World Cup.
Most people in Canada are here pretty much understand there won't be too much blocking shots. Nobody wants to break their ankle or do anything like that, and because you don't want to be out for the season, and you don't want to hurt somebody from your other team or anybody for that matter. It's sort of like everybody's going to be in that mode where nobody wants to get hurt. I think that's what people seem to think here. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of offense, and it's going to be a good week. But yeah, it's probably not going to be like a grinded out, go get them, hit everybody type thing that maybe some people might be looking for.
Yeah, I'm feeling you. Our friend Trey John Warrior says, "Come on, McDavid, fake an injury to save yourself for the cup." I don't know if that helps Edmonton, Troy Gen Warrior. I don't know if it helps, man. I think Edmonton needs some other things. So yeah, we'll see. McDiesel, what's up, man? Appreciate you being in the chat. Thank you very much. 34 across all platforms. We really appreciate everybody being in here for NHL Nightly. Adam Kerr says, do you think the Red Wings are buyers? Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to add something there, I think. Who do you think they might target? Someone like Connor Murphy? Yeah, I think a lot of teams are wanting Connor Murphy, Adam, but I don't know. Go ahead, Pearlo Rico. You're kind of a closet Red Wings fan.
Yeah, there's a lot of defensemen out there. There's David Savard, but I think he's eaten way too many pucks. I don't know what he's got left. But there's also Brandon Carlo as well, because Detroit's looking for maybe somebody on the right side. You might see him or a Connor Murphy move there as well.
Yeah, I like Connor Murphy there. And, I mean, if they could get Carlo, I think that'd be fantastic for them if they could pick up a guy like Carlo. But I think defense is probably what they're going to be looking to add to their offense. Seems pretty good. Maybe somebody with a little bit of a rental with some cup experience, and I'd have to think about it right now off the top of my head. It's not popping out at me, but somebody like that, like a good veteran that's won a cup or has had a lot of playoff experience that can get in there and help Kane lift these guys up and show them what it means to be a playoff team. I think something like that would be what they'd be looking at. It's not going to cost them like heavy picks or anything like that. But
so Connor Murphy has 2 years at 4-4. So you're probably, especially a team like Edmonton or even Detroit, is probably going to ask for retention. And that's why Chicago didn't retain on Taylor Hall, because they wanted to maximize their return with some of their other players. So Winnipeg has about 1.772 left on the cap. Detroit has 1.8. So I'm sure they could make some moves to make that work. Tampa Bay, same thing. So these teams that would be in the mix, New Jersey, if they were looking at a player like that. So I think if they got Connor Murphy from Chicago, you're probably asking for retention. Do you guys disagree? And you're getting term. You're getting this year and next year if you trade for Murphy. So
it's possible, yeah. I think they have the cap space to fit a guy in twice for that, and maybe not have to give up so much to acquire him. But I'm not totally up on their cap space for next year. They got a lot of guys to sign, so maybe you're right.
Who are you talking about? I just gave you cap space. Who are you talking about?
Yeah, you were saying they would like it to be retained.
Detroit has 1.8 million in cap space.
Right.
Tampa has 1.8 million in cap space.
A player would probably go back, right?
What?
They could send a player back.
Okay, so by that rationale, who are you trading from Detroit? What's a guy? What's a name that you want to move? Now they're getting a little bit of. They're getting IR from Jeff Petrie, but he has a no movement, no trade clause. Doesn't matter. He's on IR. He's not coming back. This is the last year of Petrie's deal anyway. Thank God for them. Sherratt, maybe you trade Sherratt back with a pick, maybe, and then that clears up. But he's actually played well for Detroit as of late, so that's a guy you probably don't want to trade.
Justin Hull.
Justin Hull, 3.4 million, 33 could be right shot D though. They're limited on their right shot Ds. Do you trade?
They're getting a right shot D back, so it'd be
right. Okay, so you'd say Justin Hull. Okay, yeah, Comfer, Cop, or Hall is what. But Comfer and Cop have no trade clauses, Adam. So this is why we want to have a real conversation with you about it. Connor Murphy does have a 10-3. I'm sure he'd go to Detroit though. I feel like Detroit's probably not on anybody's no trade clause. They have a brand spanking new arena. They're an original six team. It's not a real tax ridiculous state. You're actually pretty close to Canada if you're from there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're an Ontario boy, I'm sure half of Ontario grew up rooting for the Red Wings, right, Rico? Because they were so good. Kind of your area, your neck of the woods in Thunder Bay.
Ontario. Yeah, Sarnia, Chatham, that whole area down the southern tip of Ontario. You go one way and they're the Buffalo Sabres if you head towards Niagara Falls, but there's a majority the other way down southwestern Ontario that are Red Wings fans, yeah.
Ibrahim says, saw the title, which caught my attention. If he's out, that's bad. Yeah, we don't know yet, Ibrahim. We think we'll know more tomorrow. So tune in tonight to tomorrow night's show for sure. By the way, that'll be our last show for a couple of weeks because we'll be on the Four Nations break. Rico's going to Mexico. I'm going to Arizona. Pearlo's going to Chicago, maybe. Fingers crossed, hopefully. So that'll be good. We'll have a nice little break there. Obviously, there'll be some live streams on this channel with myself or HTH for the Four Nations, but that'll just be for those games. If there's any trades that break, rest assured, I'll do a video, or Hot Take will do a video on the trade and the details. So we'll do our best to get that information to you guys. We're doing our best to try to be a multimedia platform when it comes to hockey and doing all things. Hot Take's been retweeting out our interview clippets from Frank Saravelli's interview. Please, if you didn't catch that, he gave us almost 40 minutes. It was awesome. We'd like to have Frank back on, so we want to get a lot of positive feedback. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Every night, 10 o'clock, we're going to be doing this show. And then into the playoffs, we're going to be doing shows and stuff. Sometimes I won't be here. Sometimes it'll just be Pearlo or Rico to talk about stuff. We'll figure it out. HTH still going to be coming in when he can, doing what we can. We just want to maximize the uses of his channel. So appreciate everybody. 40 in the live chat. So between all platforms, Robert Thomas, does Robert Thomas get the call? Did Robert Thomas not make Team Canada? If if Crosby's out, it's 100% in my book.
Scheifele.
Yep. I'm with you, Rico. We're on the same.
Mm-hmm.
I can't disagree with it.
What were you saying, Pearlo?
I said I can't disagree with that for sure.
Yeah. W, can't wait to see John on the stream. Yeah, Ibrahim, John was on Monday. I mean, he's been on our show a bunch, considering he has like 10 jobs. So, Brian, I wanted to get to your question that you asked a while ago. How about Eric Johnson to Detroit? I totally would be disappointed if I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan and they don't move somebody for something. Is Eric Johnson's with Buffalo? Am I out of my mind?
Philly. He's with Philly.
Oh, he's with Philly now. That's right.
He's not having a great year though. I don't know.
I don't think he's playing much. He's kind of at the end of the line. I mean, he was drafted in like 2001 or something, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been in the league a long time, and he won a cup.
Him and Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson's still in the league too. They feel like the Johnson brothers been in this league.
So Jack Johnson, if you don't know, married AJ Hawk's sister, AJ Hawk, who's co-host with Pat McAfee, lives in Columbus. That's where Jack lives. He re-signed with Columbus for the league men. I could see him getting sauced over for a player to be named later to Colorado, where he had a little bit of success. Colorado needs cheap add-ons with guys who know their system. That could make some sense. Yeah, I mean, we talked about Buffalo, Zucker, Greenway, Bryson, and Gilbert, but they've really got to make a decision when it comes to Byram, Yoki Haru, Jack Quinn, JJ Peterka, Tyson Kozak, and Ryan McLeod. Now, if I'm them, I keep Ryan McLeod. But we'll see. I think Johnson, if he does get moved, it won't be for much. And Philly's been willing to trade, so I'm sure that he'll be like a deadline deal because no one's going to prioritize bringing that guy on their team. I don't even know where Philly's at in cap space, actually. They're actually over the cap right now. Philly is. So maybe they move a guy like Johnson just to get cap compliant. He makes $1 million. They could sauce him. Maybe Chicago. Maybe it's part of a 3-way deal or something. Right shot D, 36 years old. Yep, Eric Johnson. So, we had a fight. We had a fight in the Calgary game. I didn't see who it was. Yeah, we're gonna have the scheduling is gonna be ridiculous too, guys. Yeah, I mean, so we'll preview Saturday's games, and we can start previewing Friday's games now. We have 14 games on Friday and then 2 on Sunday. The 2 on Sunday are Utah Hockey Club and Capitals and Lightning and Canadians. Both those teams are playoff teams. I expect the playoff teams to win. So there is the first game of the 4 nations is Canada, Sweden on Wednesday, the 12th. Be expecting to see a stream here with either HTH or myself. And then Saturday that weekend, we have Finland, Sweden, USA, Canada. So USA, Canada, and in the States is on ABC. Both games are on ABC. The Thursday game, USA, Finland, is on ESPN. So I'm assuming Sportsnet. The Wednesday game is a TNT game, Canada, Sweden. So I expect one or both of us will be streaming for one of those games, or if not both. So be looking out for that. It'll be a nice little break. I think a lot of people are taking vacations and stuff like that. So let's hide the comment. He was a first overall draft in 2006. There you go. And drafted before Jonathan Taves and Jordan Stahl and Nick Backstrom. Yeah, probably if you go back and redraft there, Brian, you're probably not taking Eric Johnson, but still, not too shabby. Who made that pick, by the way? Was it St. Louis? He was with St. Louis, wasn't he? They were the ones that drafted him, I think.
Johnson?
Yeah, I thought Eric Johnson was drafted by the St. Louis.
Yeah, he was. I think it was first overall, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he just said right there. Eric was first overall.
Yeah.
Yep, American guy. I think he's one of the few guys. I know Kane was one of the first. Okay, just recapping the scores from earlier. Wild win 2-1. Utah Hockey Club win 3-2 in overtime. The Capitals beat the Flyers 4-3. Ovi got a nice, nasty goal in the first period. Could have had an empty net or two, so that would have been good. If he got two more, he'd be 15 away. Golden Knights beat the Devils. We are very concerned about the Devils. We finished the night we started the show kind of talking about how we were a little bit concerned about the Devils. Lightning ended up winning 5-1 against the Senators. That was a fairly close game, but check out, if you subscribe to Sean Avery, and one of these days I'll try to play some of his Instagram comments. He always is talking about, he loves watching Tampa. Tampa's going to be dangerous. Canucks and Sharks puck drop right now. We're underway at the Shark Tank. It's 2-2 Blues and Panthers. Oh, no, Panthers just scored to go up 3-2 with 11.8 seconds left. So Sam Reinhart, there you go. Mike Fiore in the chat. Well, Mike, there's still some time left. So, Reinhart buries it. Oppo goes blocker high, gets the puck in the high slot. There's no way it actually bounced off the defenseman and then went right back to his stick. Oh, that was kind of unfortunate. And the Maple Leafs are up 1-0, and the Avalanche are up 2-1. They had a goal disallowed. Calgary is on the power play currently as we speak. So those are the 3 live games we have going on right now. Oh, the parlay is live. Who's the last leg of your parlay, Mike? Mike, since you're in here. Do you think the Rangers make the playoffs? I'm curious. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for him, buddy. Because Ottawa did lose today. That benefits teams like Columbus and Boston. But Columbus lost, but they got a point. The Islanders have been on fire. The Rangers sit in 6th. Yeah, you think they do? Okay. Got the Avs money line and over 5.5 Leafs tonight. Okay, so the Avs just need to win, and that's a likely scenario. The Avs have actually, I think they've lost a few in a row, so this was a bad spot for, they're coming off a loss. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. Problem is Calgary's 5-5-0 in their last 10. Both these two are in the last wild card spots. Tonight, this is an important game for Vancouver. I heard a lot of people say positive things about Pettersson for Vancouver. I think you probably win the Blue Jackets game, but you play Pittsburgh Friday too, so that's a back-to-back. That's a lot of hockey. So they're cramming in a lot of hockey here at the end here. So I think the Blue Jackets aren't the team you got to catch. It's Detroit and Ottawa. Those are the teams you got to catch. And Detroit's won 7 in a row. They're 7-2-1, and Ottawa's 6-4-2. Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row, but they lost to good teams. And Detroit, by the way, is the only minus team in the West that's in the playoffs right now. So everybody else is a positive goal differential team. The Sens are a +6. And then in the East, I'm sorry, that's in the East. I apologize. I said the West. In the West, the only team that's in the playoffs right now is -14. Yeah, I hear you, Mike, but JT Miller plays a physical brand of hockey too, and he's not a spring chicken. He's 31 years old, so I don't know. I love it. He's making a difference for sure. 40 in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. Let's start talking some gambling since we've been throwing in stuff. So Charlie, we are at 54,000 subscribers because we're broadcasting on Hot Take Hockey. Is 54,000 between my subscribers and his. We are at 54,000. We are live on Hot Take Hockey right now. Appreciate you, everybody in the chats. Over 43 people in the chat. So if we had them last year, we win the cup. That could be, Mike. That could have been the case. I don't know. You were there. You were a pretty good team. I I I really worry about teams that relied heavily on the power play, and that was you guys last year. So yeah, we were at 55,000 K. So we got the subscribers we need. We just need the sponsors and stuff too. So, and we'll start uploading the podcast too once we figure out the format and work it out. We've been doing this for 2 years and we're still kind of clinging on. But Toronto scored again, so
Nice.
that's good. That's good news for Mike. They're up 2-0. I think it was McCann, Rico.
Woo, McCann, anytime goal, baby. Love it.
Was it McCann or?
Yeah, it was McCann.
Okay, yep, I was all over it. Boy, he's been a beast for them. So, yep. Okay, let's talk about tomorrow's games. 5 of them.
Right on. Let's do it.
Penguins, Rangers. Penguins plus 164. Yeah, if Crosby doesn't play in this game, I don't even know how you would pick the Pens. So they just traded their best defenseman probably, and we're looking at no Sidney Crosby. Where are you guys at with this one? I'll give you the lines here momentarily. I got to get those up.
Get on it quick and take the Rangers if you can get a good line on it right now.
They're minus 198 at almost as
already.
Yeah, and unfortunately, guys, that's an NHL network game. So of the 90,000 people that can stream hockey, about 1.8 million of you can watch that game here in the States. I'm assuming that's a Sportsnet or TSN game for you guys in Canada, Rico. Who covers the?
Yeah, probably Sportsnet.
Okay. Who are you taking, Rico? Rangers? Or
just get on the Rangers minus 1.5 in regulation right now. No Crosby, no Malkin. Basically, you got a top line of, I think, Beauvillier, Raquel, and Russ have been skating together. And then Bunting, Cody Glass, and Heinen. Then you got Kevin Hayes center in the third line. There's just not much there. And
I'll tell you, if the Rangers drop this one, man. Whew.
Well, listen, the Rangers, who do they got here going forward? Mike Ferrari is going to say they make the playoffs. Yeah, they got Pittsburgh, Columbus, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Islanders. They got a little bit of a schedule. They could start banking some wins.
They have to win all those games and hope the teams in front of them lose outright. They're down by a lot of points because they went on that big, long run. I'm saying it's going to be that the battle is going to be much harder. I'm not saying it's impossible, but when you're this far out of the playoffs in February, yeah, I know we have the Four Nations break. We're going to come back to a condensed schedule. The Rangers are a veteran team. You're going to be playing a lot of back-to-backs. That's not good for a veteran team that's trying to climb in the rankings. Now, if they were sitting like they were last year, it wouldn't be a problem. But I think it's an issue for them, guys. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're making it Johnny Lazarus all over it. They're going to make it. Okay, buddy. Better hope the Islanders quit losing too. You better hope that the Ottawa Senators kept losing. You better hope that the Detroit Red Wings won 7 in a freaking row. Those are teams you have to catch. So, right now they have Anthony Beauvillier, Ricard Raquel, Brian Rust as your top line. Bunting, Cody Glass, Stanton Heinen as the second line. Matt Nieto, Kevin Hayes, Philip Tomasino as the third line. Bachmond, J. Imama. I don't even know who that is. Is that a real player? Yep. I'm Mama.
Yeah, I'm Mama. He came from LA, I think. He's played a couple games in the NHL.
Okay. Noel Achari is your bottom line there. And then now on D, I guess I could have put this up for you. You have P.O. Joseph with Letang, Matt Grzelcyk with Carlson, Ryan Graves with Desharnais. So Vinny Desharnais, they got in the trade for Pettersson. So they didn't get, they got a player back at least, but yeah. So yeah, not looking good. So, yeah.
Playing Raquel at center too.
Yeah, goal from Colorado, by the way. Necas scored. Oh, interesting. Necas on the board. So yes, Mike, the Rangers have played 53 games. The Islanders have played 53 games. Yes, I know Boston and Columbus have more games played, but I mean, it's not that much more. It's not that much more. If you win those 2 games in hand, you give yourself 60 points. You're not ahead of Detroit and Ottawa today. You have to look at the math, man. It's not there. If you just put the Rangers at 60 points, they're still not ahead of Detroit and Ottawa at the same thing. So it's going to be difficult, man, unless Detroit and Ottawa completely fall apart. Also, Columbus, if they get Marchenko back, and the Bruins are right there too. So the Bruins are 5-4-1 in their last 10. They're not terrible, but I mean, you also have to pass the Islanders, who have more points than you. So the Islanders have the same games played. If you give them points, they're in a playoff spot. If they win out, they're in a playoff spot. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot more difficult than people think. And the Rangers are going to play some difficult teams. I believe one of the more difficult teams schedules there's somebody that's got like an outshot, like has a really difficult schedule down the stretch. So it's going to be interesting there. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all but Washington's going to win the Metro. They're at 79 points now. So 7-1-2 in their last 10, plus 57. I'm not saying they're the creme de la creme of the East, but they've been kind of the creme de la creme of the East. So it's going to be interesting to see. Bokandi, Amajaman had 178 penalty minutes and 54 AHL games. Okay, so he's a scrapper. I love it. Thank you, Brian. All over it. Yeah, Wings. That's it. Wings have a really tough schedule. So, but they've been playing better. The big thing about the Wings is if they've got their penalty kill worked out, they're going to be a much better team. That's what was, evasive. He can't break the record in the playoffs. They don't count. The goals in the playoffs don't count. So the 70 some goals or whatever he scored in the playoffs don't count towards his total. Don't ask me why. So, but yeah, he can't break the record in the playoffs. I think he will catch. I think he's going to get very close. There's a lot of games left. So there's 82 games. So, Washington's played 54. So there's 28 games left or something like that, roughly in that vicinity. He has 28 games to get 16 goals. Easily could happen. He needs, if he just gets a hat trick in one game, he's probably getting close. So if he doesn't break it this year, he doesn't break it this year. But he broke his leg and he's still, he's close to 30 goals. So it's pretty impressive. All right, let's get back to the scores because we are already like 50 minutes in the show for previewing tomorrow's games. You guys were both on the Rangers. We have Islanders Jets, and our friend Charlie Dufresne was in. Charlie, he likes the Rangers over the Pens. His Winnipeg Jets host the Islanders. Are the Islanders on fire? They go in and beat the Jets plus 160. What do you guys like? Are the Jets looking forward to the break? How do you guys feel? Yeah, Dane?
That's a tough game the Islanders are playing with so much balls right now, but
Patty Waugh got him playing.
It feels like a draw to me. Winnipeg is just playing with pride no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, Winnipeg has lost Lowry and has been dominant.
Yeah, so, they've been playing with a lot of pride. That doesn't seem like they're looking ahead to anything.
To me, they're the team to beat this year. They're the team to beat.
Yeah, every game seems like they got something to prove. Yeah, that's going to be a really tough game. I think it's going to be super close. I'll go the draw because
Winnipeg 8-2-0 in their last 10. They're won 7 straight. They're plus 67. They're 21-5 at home.
Yeah, it's
21-5-3.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a game. What do you got, Rico?
It's a front end of a back-to-back. The Islanders are in Minnesota the next game.
Oh, shit.
The thing is, Islanders haven't been playing bad defensively. They're like a little better than half in their overall defensive stats. They're brutal in their penalty kill, and Winnipeg's got the best power play in the league. They're ranked number 1 in goals for and goals against. I mean, Winnipeg's just off the charts right now. I mean, it's Winnipeg or nothing for me. I know the Islanders are 8-2, but this is a Winnipeg spot. They're going to St. Louis right after this. Winnipeg, that scares me, but I think that's more of a St. Louis spot when they have to travel after this game for a quick one to go back home. But
I will say this about the Islanders. Their big problem is they're not a great goal scoring team. They only have 146-4. They do have the second best differential of teams in the East that aren't currently in a playoff spot. Columbus is a -1. They're third best. They're a -6. The Rangers are climbing back up to -7. But the Rangers have allowed 162 goals. The Islanders only allowed 152. So just really good play from them. In contrast, like a good team, Washington has allowed 135. And where's Winnipeg at? I think they might be the best differential in the league. They've allowed 131. So it's like, Washington. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think Hellebuck's just sharpening his blades right now for the Four Nations to be that starter and then just take the U.S.
Yeah, he'll be the starter.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have any layups in that and leading into the Four Nations. I think he's just so focused right now that.
Or they might give each goalie a start. I don't know how they're doing it, and then just say, hey, we're going to pick the one that played the best. I don't know. They're not playing enough, so it's like, what do you do? I don't know. And if you have a bad night, you have a bad night. I mean, it's going to be one of those interesting things. Okay, so everybody's on the Jets at -192. We did have our friend Evasive in the chat. He said he likes the Islanders 3-2. Predators, Blackhawks. I actually have liked how the Blackhawks have been playing. The Blackhawks are +170 at home. They could have easily beat Edmonton the other night. They got a BS too many men on the ice penalty. I think if the guy is at the bench and the guy at the puck inadvertently hits another player, it's not too many men on the ice. They clearly didn't play the puck on purpose. That should not be a penalty. Of course, Edmonton scores in overtime when they have a power play. Like, good God. I've watched Edmonton win like 17 games in overtime this year. Well, there ain't 3-on-3 in the playoffs, Edmonton, so good luck with that one. I don't know what that tells you about your team. Like, seriously. I don't know where you guys are on that one, so.
I like Chicago in this spot. I'll take Chicago first period, too. And Nashville hasn't played since Monday. And then they got I know it's not a long flight, but they just got to go to Chicago, then right back home against Buffalo Saturday night. So I like Chicago first period and maybe Chicago full game. There's no way I'm laying -200 with Nashville. Chicago gets a better matchups at home. I know they're young players, Bedard and stuff. They're different on the road, but when they're at home, I think since the Winter Classic, they've just been putting up a better effort on their home rink. So I like Chicago in this spot.
Thank you, Mike. Mike says started working the game when he works men leagues clocks. Helps him get through these trash games. What, Mike? Are you working men's league in New York City? You got to let us know where they're being played. That's awesome. Rico plays men, so we love it. We want to hear about your men's league stories, guys. Blended, I won't read your comment online for everybody because I just don't want to start a war towards the end of the night. But I laughed. It's very good. And our friend Brian says the Joakim Kimmel is going to play. Joakim Kimmel or whatever. Joakim Kimmel making his NHL debut. What do you think there, Pearlo?
I'm with everything Rico said. I agree with. This is a spot. I think Nashville's looking towards the break a little bit here, and Chicago's going to play with some pride at home. They've been, like you said, they've been keeping things tight, and they have been playing with some pride. So no way I'm taking Nashville -200. So yeah, Chicago for sure.
Yeah, Kate, did I miss something? Did Vinny Hinostroza or whatever, that guy that was playing with Nashville, he's all of a sudden in Minnesota and he scored his first goal tonight?
Yeah, he got waived. And they claimed him because tonight. He
put on waivers.
They claimed him. Minnesota claimed him. They needed him, I guess. So I love Mike here. Mike's working a men's league in Stamford, Connecticut. Awesome, Mike. Thank you. Stamford, Connecticut is where that's where ESPN and all them guys are at. So, I mean, I know ESPN itself is in Bristol, but I think my boy Dan Patrick is in that area too. So awesome stuff. Charlie likes the Avs over the Oilers, even though the Avs are playing tonight. Oilers never get a home after a back-to-back. Avalanche versus Oilers +140. Boy, the Avs choked one against the Oilers the last time. I'll be really interested to see how this Avs. They're playing very well tonight as they're winning 3-1 or 3. What's the score there? Is it 3-1? Yeah, 3-1. They're winning. Natchez got a power play goal. His 18. Lehkonen and Cale Makar all scored. Huberdeau, though, nice. So under in Avs Oilers, Mike says. Yeah, NBC Sports was there. That's right. That's right, Mike. When they did hockey, they were there. So they were doing there. That was their thing. So, yeah, they're not there now, though. I think they got rid of the NBC Sports. So, okay. Yeah, the other live games, Canucks, Sharks, still no score. Maple Leafs are still up 2-0, but they're on the power play. And Vancouver, like I said, Vancouver Sharks, no score. And then it's 3-1 Avalanche at the break. The rest of the games are all final. You guys can check those scores out. What's up, Joshua? Thanks for being with us. Yeah, they didn't play great, but I actually liked Chicago's game. I thought they played okay. Where are you guys at on this Avs Oilers game? Avs are a plus 140 road dog. I'm just taking. I feel like the Avs choked the game away in Denver, and they're going to want to put a nice performance together before the break. I would take the Avs at plus 140, but I'm not the gambling expert. Rico, how do you feel?
I'm going to take the draw. Both teams, third game in 4 nights, not going to want to kill each other going into the break. It's not going to be as high event, I don't think. Both of them are going to be just looking forward to the break here and not want to kill each other. So a lot of hockey these guys have been playing. So give me the draw and the under 6.5.
Yeah. Trent Miner is going to be in, and he's fared okay, I guess. It's kind of a question mark. What would that be? But I would probably go with the draw too. I think the Oilers win in overtime is what I would say here. I take the Oilers in overtime. Both get a point. Oilers win in overtime.
Okay. All right. Final game of the night and final game we talk about tonight. If you get your trade rumor in the chat soon, Josh, we could talk about it. Yeah, I hope Landy does lace it up for them, even if it is round one. That would be really cool, evasive. That would be sweet. Blended's with you, Pearlo. Okay, Stars Kings. No favorite really in this game. I definitely would be on the draw in this game. I think both teams have played really, really well as of late. The Kings are back in their winning ways. They've won 2 in a row. I know they're 4-5-1 in their last 10. Dallas is 6-4 in their last. They've both been kind of playing 600 hockey. Both not been bad. The Stars are coming off a loss. So I think they lost. Did they lose Wednesday or did they lose Tuesday? Stars lost to the Ducks 2-1. So Blended likes the Stars 3-1. Oh, Mitch Marner got his 500th career assist tonight. Fastest Leaf to do so. That's awesome, Brian. Thanks for that stat. And then I'll put up your Brian's trade to finish up the night here. Go ahead, Rico. You guys give me your picks.
Yeah, this almost feels like a draw game. I kind of like Dallas in a spot because they're on the road and they're just going to want to just put in a good effort away from home. LA's, I don't know, man. It could be a draw game.
Dallas is not a great road team. 14-11 on the road. LA is.
They got a great home record. Yeah,
16-3-1 at home. There's just no way. If you're taking. Yep. Did we talk you out of it?
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that losing to the Ducks is never fun. And you're going to come into this game, they were probably looking ahead to this one. So I think this could be a pretty high event game. Oddly enough, I would go to the over here, to tell you the honest truth. And that's not something you would normally say about these two teams. But I think you're going to see a high-paced game. Not much shot blocking, but both of them want to get their legs going, I think, in this one. So I'd kind of lean to the over and the draw. I like the draw too.
All right. Okay. To finish out the show, Joshua had this question. He said the Leafs acquired Dylan Cousins at double retained. Right away, Josh, they're not doing that. They owe like 8 years on that deal. And right shot D Mario Ferraro at 50% retained. So here's the problem with your deal already, Josh. They can't retain on Mario Ferraro because San Jose has no retention spots left for Nick Robertson, Connor Timmins, Fraser Minton, Willem Villavue, and a conditional second round in 2027. I think if he doesn't have, when you're looking at that kind of deal and you're looking at two teams, Josh, you've got to give up good picks. Fraser Minton does nothing for Buffalo. They already have a lot of players like that. Nick Robertson does really nothing for Buffalo. Who are you trading for Mario Ferraro? He plays for San Jose. We had Frank on Monday. You can rewatch that episode. Please go rewatch it, because I'll tell you right now, they're not trading Mario Ferraro. That's basically what we got from Frank. He doesn't think that Mike Grier has any desire to trade that player. He's a huge part of the culture. He's 26 years old. He's an outstanding defensive defenseman. So, yep, hot take saying go watch the video with Frank. So I would just say take a look at that. There's just no way, Josh, you're going to see. I can pull up the cap wages and you'll look. Dylan Cousins is making $7 million for like the next 7 years. Buffalo isn't going to do that. There's no way you were going to have to get a couple, 2-3 first round picks, Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan, something like that. And I just don't think the Leafs have it, man. I love your thought process to try to get a great player like that. But to be honest with you, I don't think that's going to be the case. No, John, you didn't miss Rico's hot take of the night. We will finish tomorrow night with our thoughts of the week, thoughts of the month, thoughts of the season. And also, why don't you guys bring to the table a trade you'd like to see or something we're going to see after the Four Nations and your Four Nations predictions? Do you guys have anything else before we close out tonight?
Yeah, Brady Shen to the Leafs at the draft table after this year, because his no trade clause kicks out after this year's done. So Brady Shen to Toronto.
Braden Shen?
Braden Shen.
Okay. But you could bring it tomorrow too.
We'll bring it tomorrow.
Yeah, bring it tomorrow. Bring it tomorrow. Legit. Okay. Hey, 45 in the chats across all platforms. Appreciate you guys. Yes, we'll send out a treat and get your predictions in. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. It's been an awesome couple of weeks. We're just hitting our stride. We're going to do better. We're going to get better. We're going to have cooler thumbnails and stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody. Have a great night. Enjoyed it. We are out of here. Remember, this show is for puckheads by puckheads.